This is the Not Bitter, Just Better podcast.
The Everton our way.
Straight from the street end.
Howdy Blues, welcome to the Not Bitter, Just Better Everton podcast. Mr. Johnny Seven here. Can I start saying as always yet? Or is it a little bit too soon still? Friday's episode. So got a few things to look at today, including, I'm actually recording this Thursday night, so to be out on Friday. Starting off with a look at last night's defeat at home to Villa, then a little bit of Everton news, and then in the final part, a look ahead to the visit of Spurs on Sunday. So that should be fun. A lot more fun than looking back at the result last night, I'll tell you that. Last night I decided to go straight to game from work last night, and then I didn't. I think if you've got us on Facebook, you will see that the last game I went to, we decided to not have a drink. What a horrible decision that was. The Forest game. So last night I remedied that. So I went to my mate's bar on County Road, Paul Segura Bar. So check it out. Great match day deals and home and away deals there. Loads of merch, stuff like that. Great place. So I had a few beforehand, a few during, and a few after. So a little bit delicate today. And today dragged in work. So why do we do it, Blues? Why do we do it? But it's a lot more easier to deal with after having a few drinkies, let's just say, at the game. But today I suffered, and that's why I'm recording this just an audio version of the podcast today. So you don't have to see me and me daft ats. So looking back at the Villa game. 7:30 kickoff. So the team news came out a little bit early yesterday. Actually, it was about 6:15 came out, and it was a little bit of a surprise to see that it was exactly the same team that Dyche would have put out. So and a lot of the criticism that Dyche has had, 2 goalies on the bench. So yeah, but the message, we knew the message was likely to be different. So just a little recap of the team. 4-3-3/4-5-1, more like a 4-5-1. Pickford in goal, obviously. Right back Ashley Young. So Patterson was unfortunately for him didn't keep his place. Centre backs Tarky and Brantwaite, and left back Mikalenko. Central midfield Garner Gay, Decore and Mangala. On the right, Harrison, left Nzai, and then up top was Dominic Calvert-Lewin. More like a 4-5-1. But they seem to be not so far away from each other, not like usual. So Villa, Martinez, Cash, Konza, Mings, former Blue, Luka Dean, and then defensive midfield, Amadou, shooting on sight, Anana, which I can't remember him doing for Everton very much, but it seemed every time he picked up the ball he wanted to have a go. To furious boos from the Everton fans, not players. Kamara, attacking midfielders, Ramsey, Tielemans and Morgan Rogers, and up top, Ollie Watkins. We did look a little bit different. There was a lot more patience. That's not to say it was good. It was better than just lumping the ball up to Calvert-Lewin. There seemed to be a lot more playing it out, playing it across, playing it to the wings, and then trying to get it in, trying to get the fullbacks up to support as well. But it wasn't just going to be a turnaround that quickly. So it was a really, really tough first game for Moisey. Coming back, and then I'm going to talk about Spurs in a little bit. That's a tough second game as well. Let me see. Cautious approach from Moyes. The possession 48% for Everton, so a little bit more possession than we usually have, although we did have a lot more possession against Forest, and they hit us on the counter. That's their game. Shots on target, Blues. I saw last night that there was 4 shots on target, but my stats I've got today, it says three for Everton, 5 for Villa. Passing accuracy 78%, Villa 81%. Let me see. I've got notes again today, so where are we? Pickford made a save to deny Morgan Rogers. Pickford also came running out of the goal, and Watkins put it wide, surprisingly. Really good opportunity and missed it. Tarkovsky with a great block from an attempt by Tielemans. As I said before, there was quite a few efforts from distance by Anana. Dina had a shot that was directly into the wall. I think they were asking for a handball for that. Our own chances. Calvert-Lewin had a notable opportunity, but his effort was cleared off the line by Kamara. It was kind of trickling towards the goal. It wasn't the best of efforts, but it was an effort towards the goal. I mean, and it was on target. So, you know, bonus. Second half, Watkins gets another opportunity and this time puts it past Pickford and into the goal. Capitalising on the through ball from Morgan Rogers. There's been criticism of Pickford coming out too far, but he still made some decent saves again. And how many times has he saved us lately? So unfortunate. Calvert-Lewin missed a chance in the stoppage time. Lindstrom came on for Harrison. Harrison, I saw somebody saying that he's being played out of position, but when he has done well on the rare occasions for Everton, that seems to be his best position, right mid. If I'm not wrong, he remember scoring that looping volley last season from on the right. So I don't know. I don't know what his right position is, but his right position for Everton at the moment should not be on the right midfield for us or on the pitch at all, given his current form. I don't want to slag him off too much. You can tell his confidence is absolutely shot, and yeah, he definitely needs to be taken out of the firing line there. Lindstrom. Why isn't he getting a run? Do you know what? Even at the moment, I think I'd rather see Ashley Young play there and have Patterson behind him. He just needs to be. He needs a break, and the fans are on his back big time. He's getting crucified all over social media. Yeah, not good. Beto came on alongside Calvert-Lewin. Madness, two up top. Didn't really make that much of a difference. But I'd like to say, I don't know, I'm not being rose tinted here again. It was different. So it was the same lineup. The changes were a little bit different. Villa are a good side. We've got some really, really strong players. Um, yeah, different approach, and some signs there that we might be able to make some kind of changes. But Moyes obviously will have been able to now, rather than his 3 days that he's out of training, seeing what we've all had to see for the past 19 games. Obviously, he will have seen a lot of video on Everton and watched all the games, and he will have had his thoughts on those and training. But he got to see it, and he got to see it in front of with the way the fans reacting and all that kind of stuff. So you'd hope there's going to be a little bit of change made in the Spurs game coming up. Let's see. Where else are we up to here? Yeah, there wasn't, I've seen on social media today a few shouts that we should have had a clear-cut penalty. I missed that. I don't know what I was doing. Yeah, but apparently there was a blatant push on Lindstrom, two hands in the back. We aren't getting those. Let's face it. We don't. Big clubs get them. We're a big club, but we're not one of the big clubs anymore. Uh, as far as the Premier League and VAR and all that are, and you don't want to blame refs for us being bad. Well, it doesn't help, does it? I didn't actually see it, so it's difficult for me to comment. But I will just say, yeah, it's not likely that we're going to get unless it's somebody's actually absolutely side down and assaulted. That's the way it's had to be lately. Um, saying that, we got that one last week, didn't we, with Branthwaite? Well, he was being hauled all over the show all the way through the game there. So yeah. Once man of the match. Oh, yeah, I couldn't pick one out. Um, very very difficult. And I didn't really have a sniff. Um, he was all right. He was in and out, but not as much impact as he can make. Calvert-Lewin's been hammered again. And just going on, I'm going to talk about Dom again, and I don't know what the better option could be, and that's like 16 goals without 16 games now without 16 goals. Well, we can only dream, can't we? 16 games without a goal, Premier League games without a goal. That is shocking. But I don't know what the answer is with the players we've got. I still think he's our best option up top. Beto's had a few runs, but he's had a few runs in the cup and that, but we don't look the same kind of. We look even worse if that's possible with Beto up top. Uh, I don't know. People will probably disagree, but he hasn't had a few games though, has he? He hasn't had a run of a few games. I don't think Moyes is likely to pick Beto over Calvert-Lewin. He's a little bit of a wild card kind of player, isn't he, Beto? So I can't see it happening. He might end up going with Ndiaye up top. I don't know. It's just I'm trying to think of what other options other than Dom. Because obviously Dom's not working out, and Browy's injured now, so he's gonna have to bring someone in. That was one of the statements from the press conference on Monday. If the players here can't do it, he's gonna have to look elsewhere. Moisey, you're gonna have to look elsewhere because those players ain't doing it. So, yeah, so 1-0 to Villa. Luckily, the other results kind of went for us. So Wolves got beat last night against Newcastle. Ipswich got beat today against Brighton, and then Southampton, although Southampton a long way off us, we're 1-0 up against Man U, who came back to win 3-1. So although Man U aren't far ahead of us, I think they're likely to turn it round. And well, you'd imagine, wouldn't you? And I think we the way we've been playing, it's good that to see like Southampton even further adrift. So yeah, so no real change in the position, still 16th, and going into the Spurs game. So again, that's a tough one. I'll cover that a little bit more thoroughly later. Yeah, so a lot of the thoughts around that game, it's give Moisey time. I think the people were surprised that the lineup was exactly the same formation, but you could see that there was a different directive out there. It's just that these players aren't in good form at the moment, so they weren't able to implement it as well as Moisey would, and all of us, of course, would like. So, yeah, I'm gonna leave that there. Depressing, depressing start. You know, we would have liked to get a little bit of the new manager bounce, but as I say, Villa, bloody good side. So, a lot of really good players and a really good manager. So, we just have to move on. Yes, which I will be doing now, and I'll be back in a sec with a little bit of Everton news.
News.
Okay, Blues. Everton news that has come out over the last day or so. Since Monday's show. So Broja has ankle ligament damage from his fall against uh, Peterborough last week, and is expected to be sidelined for 10 to 12 weeks. And Moyes has said that might mean that he might have to go back to Chelsea. His spell might have to end. He hasn't had any luck with injuries at all. Chelsea apparently have said that if we do send them back early, then they want the full remainder of the loan paid, which is cheeky because he bloody signed for us while he was injured. So we've been paying then for all that. So I don't know how they're going to do it, but either way, we're paying for it anyway, and we're out of action for 12 weeks. We need changes now, so I think they're going to have to take the hit. Unfortunately, yeah, not ideal. Because we send him back, we can bring someone else in. There's been a lot of talk from fans saying that they want Harrison to be sent back as well. Yeah, I can't see that happening. Um, McNeil's still out. Garner came back on the grass, back to join full training again yesterday. So that might be a good option to come in for someone like Decore. Or, if they shake it up a little bit and drop Decore into that central defensive midfield position, that might take a little pressure off his game. Oh, just mentioning Decore, he played his 150th game for Everton last night. I've seen a lot of people saying that's about 130 games too many. Like 4 of them were good. Um, yeah, he's another one who's getting a lot of flack at the moment. And as I said a couple of times on the show, the last few episodes, I do feel for him because he's not this bad a player, but I think he is completely lost. I don't know where he's playing. He's not playing as a central defensive midfielder. He's not playing as a number 10. He's just roaming around, and his touch is shocking at the moment. And yeah, he looks all out of sorts. And I think if Garner comes in and he can come in and shake it up a little bit. McNeil, obviously as well, when he's back, will shake it up a little bit. And I think Decore might end up being rotated with Garner, Gay, and Mangala in those central defensive midfield positions. Okay. Another player who reached the milestone last night was Pickford, who reached 300 games for the Blues, and it got a lot more positive reaction from Everton fans. Other news came out the other day, I think it was Tuesday, that the the financial fair play findings that no club has broken the rules this season. Uh, well, how is the question a lot of Blues have asked. It just seems very fishy, doesn't it? We're still waiting for the findings on City with their 115 charges. Do you know what I was thinking about the Forest one as well? So Forest, I'm sure their points deduction was less than ours because I think I said this the other day. They said that um, there wasn't an on-field advantage gained by them spending so much. It's like, of course there was. The bloody second or third in the league now, so there's got to have been some advantage. Okay, they weren't that last season, but the amount of players that they brought in, of course there's an advantage there. So daft. Yeah, so Chelsea got away with it again. Well, this time round, um, who knows how? But fortunately, the Blues also uh, managed to get away with not getting a point deduction this time round, which was refreshing. Other news today: apparently, former Arsenal, Chelsea, and Fulham winger Willian has been linked with has been offered to Everton. Uh, And I've seen a few people scoff at this, but come on, tell me that he wouldn't be a better option than Jack Harrison. Just on a short-term deal. He's 36 now, but people saying that's all we need, another older player. I mean, beggars can't be choosers at the moment, and coming in, I think it could work. It could, as a freebie. We'll see. He's been offered to other clubs as well. Ernest Numa, I think, or Nuama, nearing an Everton deal. It's gone quiet last day or so. 21-year-old Ghanaian international winger from Lyon. I think I saw that was around 30 million link. Yeah, don't know anything about him. Soz. Got a lot of pace apparently and creativity, uh, which we could do. We obviously do with, and again would definitely slot in to the position that hopefully Harrison will be stepping out of. Calvert-Lewin again attracting interest, and a lot of people are just saying that it's time for him to move on. He's still being linked with Newcastle, oddly, and Atlanta, as I said on Monday, are preparing a deal, preparing to move for him. Of course, he is out of contract in the summer, and he's not signed a new deal, and I think he's refused new deals in the past. So I can't see. Yeah, it doesn't look good for Dom, and Dom doesn't look good. Let's face it. So it might be time. I really think Moyes could turn him around, but I just don't think he's going to get the opportunity. So yeah, it could be farewell to Dom. What I said on the last episode as well, though, how swiftly we moved to get Moyes in after Dyche left. We really need to start doing that with players. So hopefully, Moyes will have. He saw how bad we were last night. Well, and he'll be being able to make his own assessments from training. He's hopefully identified some players. Uh, you've got to think that he's going to be the one who's making a decision. I mean, yeah, if Thelwell's out of contract in the summer as well, um, yeah, you'd imagine that he's going to be the one who's suggested. What was the other news that I was just going to mention then? It just popped into my head. So I should be making notes while I do this as well, shouldn't I? Uh, what's his name? Ben Chilwell from Chelsea's been linked as well. I think that could be a potential loan deal if we do get one of the loans off the books. But if we do send Broja back injured and don't end up paying a fee, I can't see Chelsea lending us Chilwell, so that might not be a go. Any other news? Oh yeah, so the season ticket for tenure, the full tenure, the tickets went on sale for around 4,800 blues. We've got the full 22-23 year tenure, which I'm one of those, but we're waiting for some of the other season ticket holders around us, so we can all move as a group. So uh, hopefully uh, we'll all still get 4,800. So I can't imagine that 4,800 are going to go in the equivalent of the Gladys Street Derby. I'm not sure if it's the North Stand or it's North Stand or South Stand. Um, so we're gonna. I think that's gonna be one to sort out on Sunday. So let us know if you've booked yours and where you're going to be sitting and stuff. And it's exciting, definitely. Um, I'll probably remember the other bit of news that I was that I was going to mention whilst I'm doing the Spurs preview. um, yeah, so uh, it'll be interesting to see how former Everton left back and Spurs left back Pat Fenton seeing what he thinks about the Spurs game on Sunday. So we'll probably catch up with him and have a chat over that on Sunday after the game. So I'm going to leave the news there. Like I say, I'll probably remember the last little bit of news and come back to it during the Spurs game. But I'll be back with that in that preview in a sec.
This is the Not Bitter, Just Better Everton podcast. If you haven't already, go and like us on Facebook, facebook.com/EFC Not Bitter, Just Better, or you can find us on Twitter at Just Better EFC.
Okay, so Tottenham visit Goodison. on Sunday. So second of two home games for Moyes on his in his return. And Tottenham are a really strange side, aren't they? They're like the opposite of Everton, whereas they don't seem to have another way of playing, but it's just completely attacking, and they get caught out a lot. They refuse to just not. They refuse to stop playing to stop playing it out from the back and risky passes and playing that ridiculously high line. So that could be something that Everton maybe can exploit. They've the form is very hit and miss. They lost the North London derby to Spurs 2-1 recently. When Dyche was being touted to be given the boot by Everton, Big Ange wasn't far behind, and he comes across quite well, doesn't he? I don't know. And the type of play, I tell you what, I'd much rather watch that type of predictable football than our type of predictable football because they're still, even though they're not doing great, it's just so much more exciting to watch. They've got a load of decent, like really good players. So Solanke went there from Bournemouth in the summer. He's 7 and 17 so far. Big lad, good finisher, really good in the air, as we know. They've still got Son. Not that type of player though, is he? Not that. I'll never forgive him for that. What he did to Gomez, but really, again, really good player. Really good player over the years. Um, Maddison, since he went from Leicester, 8 goals, 4 assists, and 21 appearances. Good set pieces as well. Was he annoying dart celebration though? Hopefully he won't be doing that against us. Kulusevski's, I think he's a little bit unsung for them. Maybe for outside of their own fans. But he was made captain recently, wasn't he? So they obviously rate him really highly. 5 goals, 4 assists in 21 games. Um, Also, Brennan Johnson as well. A lot of pace. You've got a lot of really good players, so there's a lot that where they're going to hurt us from. But hopefully, with the three central defensive midfielders, well, I'm classing Decore as one. There should be enough there to potentially neutralise Maddison. Hopefully, the big lads we've got at the back ourselves, Tarkovsky and Brandthwaite, are hopefully able to deal with the threat of Solanke in the air. We'll need Pickford to be on his game, won't we? Tottenham's own defensive weaknesses. Hopefully, this will be the game. 17th time lucky for Calvert-Lewin to break his duck if he's chosen up top, which I think he probably will be. Um, yeah, I just go with 4-4-2, please, please. Why not? Why not go with a 4-4-2? Of course, Moyes ain't gonna do that. But it would be nice, wouldn't it? Uh, Hopefully, I mean, maybe what's his face Patterson will get a run out again. And I don't know. I thought Mikalenko did a little bit better last night. His crossing's still dog shit though. So yeah, that's unfortunate. But what I said last week was, potentially putting, taking him out the fire line again and going with Patterson and Young as fullbacks, possibly. But we definitely need to strengthen a fullback, I think, as well. Uh, Hopefully, we get the really high line Tottenham who make a lot of mistakes, and we can capitalise on one of them or more. But as I said before about the Villa game, 3 shots on target is a step in the right direction, isn't it? We just need to show a little bit more conviction now with them. We need to limit our mistakes, and you know we've got to show something different, haven't we? We've got to. Moyes, he's got to make some changes. I don't know whether that's going to be personnel or in the way we're playing or have us a little bit closer together. Um, I think he just needs to give a clearer direction to Decore or yoink him, take him out. Because at the moment, um, it's really really difficult to see what he offers Everton at the moment, and it's a shame because he can be a good player. I'm not buying this that he's suddenly one of the worst midfielders ever. You know, we've had very very poor players in the past. I don't put him in alongside them. I don't know. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm just one of those nice rose tinted blues, but I feel like I am kind of quite level headed with these things. I don't know. Maybe I'm delusional. Maybe I'm like as delusional as Dyche. Um, yeah. Well, I'd like to think not though. But I can't see him being dropped until Garner's fully fit. And then they've got four potential, and then potentially McNeil as well, five to operate in that middle three, because I think he'll go with McNeil centrally. I think you get more out of them, and then obviously the set pieces, yeah. So hopefully, as you know, I don't do the predictions, but I do hope we can exploit Tottenham's vulnerabilities rather than them exploiting ours. Or if they do exploit ours, we exploit theirs more than they do to us. So yeah, we've got to. I think there was enough there last night to show that there is a kind of step in the right direction. It's unfortunate that it was Villa, uh, but Tottenham a lot more hit and miss than Villa even. So uh, it's very very difficult to predict, and I don't predict anyway. So let us know what your score predictions are, um, and yeah, hopefully it'll be a good um, a good one for Moisey to get his first win in his second spell, and then hopefully we'll have something to shout about over the next few days as well, with a few new faces. We can hope, can't we? Uh, Right, so I'm going to leave that there, Blues, around half an hour again today. That's what I'm going to try and do. Half an hour Monday, half an hour Friday show, each week. Oh, I also spoke to an old friend of yours and mine. You saw our Mark last night. So, as you remember, Mark used to host the show with me. That's his voice you hear at the start of the show as well. So we saw him at the game last night for the first time in a little while. Hopefully he will be rejoining the podcast again soon, and then hopefully I'll have Paul from the bar Segura in as well, and maybe get away with the Pat, hopefully as well. So you don't have to just listen to me waffle all the time. So just want to say thanks again, as always. Just before I started this section, you will have heard our social media links. So if you haven't already, please go and like and subscribe and follow and all that business. I actually set up a TikTok um, the other day. Uh, I'm not fully convinced how it will work as a podcast uh, advertising tool. I'm not. I've done some snippets, 1 minute long snippets, but it's hard doing subtitles as a Scouser. It doesn't pick up a lot of the words, so I have to go in and edit myself, and that's a ball ache. Anyway, I'll stop moaning about that now. Yeah, thanks as always, Blues, and catch us again on Monday, and have a good weekend, and up the Blues. Hopefully we can sort them out away. See you later.